Hey everyone, this is Randy. Welcome to this segment of E3 Minutes for Life. I'm standing here in West Texas in the middle of a cotton field. I'm normally in a larger city or by a historic place or something like that, but today I'm out in the middle of a cotton field. It's harvest season in West Texas. And this is just a beautiful time out here. You can see the strippers are running in the background there and they're harvesting the cotton. It's going to be a great crop this year, probably the best in about 15 years, and the farmers are all excited because the market prices are really good. You know, and you look at this, and as pretty as it is, if you fly in here, it looks like it's snowed in West Texas. As pretty as it is, whether you're a city person or not, everybody would love to be a farmer at harvest time, right? You get to cash the big check, and you get to go buy a new truck or new tractor or do something to the house or something like that. But it's harder to want to be a farmer when it's in March and it's still a little bit cool and you're having to till the soil and prep the soil. Harder to want to be a farmer when you're in May or June and the new cotton, just the sprouts have barely come up. If it rains in the evening, which it does a lot in the late spring and early summer here, they've got to go out and actually do what's called sand fighting, sometimes in the middle of the night, because when that soil gets washed by the rain and then the wind begins to blow, by sunrise that wind blowing can make the sand create enough static electricity to kill the cotton before the sun ever comes up. Harder to want to be a farmer when you're out moving water or taking care of your sprinkler system in June when it's hot, or paying to spray pesticides or herbicides to get rid of the bugs and the weeds that are out there. Hard to want to be on the end of a hoe if you're hacking it. I saw the guy who farms this place when I drove up. He was actually had a big grubbing hoe and was hacking out big tumbleweeds that he's got on the edge of the field so the strippers don't hit them. Hard to want to pay for that one last flyover from a crop duster to pay for the defoliant to get rid of the leaves and everything. You can still see the brown leaves here and all. But that's not all that different from what it's like to be a culture farmer. You know, in your organization, we've got to farm a culture. We've got to provide training for people once we get them. We can't just expect that they know how to do every part of their job and that they're going to evolve and progress on their own. We've got to give them one-on-one training. We've got to confront underperformance and hold people accountable even when that's uncomfortable. You've got to make performance appraisals a priority. I still continue to be amazed at the number of organizations who don't do performance appraisals, and people are just kind of rocking along, hoping they're doing good enough, wishing they were getting a raise, but not really getting any feedback to fill in one side of that equation or the other. You know, when we've got to stop and recalibrate and say something like COVID has caused us to have to change course, and we've got to change our compass to get on a path that's going to take us to a better place. Nobody likes being a culture farmer when it's time to go hoe the weeds and you got to go get rid of somebody who maybe they worked hard and just couldn't do the job, or maybe they were toxic to your environment and you've got to take care of getting them out of there. But if we're going to come to harvest season and expect to have something like this, we've got to go through all the steps in the process. So I would just ask you and challenge you, regardless of your position, whether you're a manager or not, what are you doing to help the culture and the atmosphere there? What are you doing to make sure that the soil is prepared for a good season? What are you doing to fight the things that come up that you never expected or didn't hope to have to fight? What are you doing with the pesticides and the herbicides, trying to make sure you take care of the bugs and the weeds that are going to take away from your productivity? If we do those things, then we'll create a culture in which people can thrive. People will want to stay. People will want to produce more. They'll be fully engaged. And at that point, we can expect to harvest a great crop. I hope this has been enjoyable for you and helpful to you. Thanks for joining us on this edition of E3 Minutes for Life. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.